Hello, friends. Welcome back. I'm here again with another classic novel, Great Expectations. Great Expectations is one of the very famous Victorian novel written by Charles Dickens, which appeared in the form of serial in the year between 1860 and 1861. It's a mid-19th century novel. Charles Dickens, 1812 to 1870, was one of the greatest English novelists of Victorian era. His father, John Dickens, was a clerk. He became bankrupt and was imprisoned. This forced Charles, who was only 11 years old, to drop out his school and work in a factory. Working as a child labor had a profound impact on Dickens, which was reflected in his novels. He wrote many novels, many of them appeared in a serial form. His novels included Pickwick Papers, A Christmas Carol, David Copperfield, Bleak House, Hard Times, Little Dorrit, Great Expectations, and Our Mutual Friend. It's a Bildungsroman novel which focuses on the psychological and moral growth of the protagonist from the youth to adulthood. It represents the educational, moral, and social growth and development of the protagonist, Pip. Pip is also the narrator of the novel, who is narrating his own story many years later. Pip is a young orphan boy. He lives with his harsh sister and his simple brother-in-law, Joe Gargery, in marsh country southeast of England. Joe Gargery was a blacksmith. One evening, Pip was sitting next to his parents' tombstone in a nearby graveyard. Suddenly, a fearful man appeared in front of him. He looked like a convict as he had iron chains on his legs. He hauled Pip from his neck upside down. He warned him not to disclose his secret and demanded him to bring food and file so that he can cut his iron chains. Frightened Pip arranged for food and stole a file from Joe's workhouse and then headed to meet the convict early morning. When he reached there, he found that the convict, whose name was Abel Magwitch, was wet and feeling very cold. He was also very hungry. Pip kindly gave him food and file and told him that he met with another convict. He returned back home after helping him. Pip was feeling very guilty and he feared being punished by the police for helping a convict. Police arrested both the convicts fighting with each other and imprisoned them. Magwitch protected Pip by claiming that he stole the file himself. Pip was summoned to Satis house to provide company to its weird author, Miss Havisham, and to her beautiful but arrogant niece, Estella. Miss Havisham was a rich spinster, looks like skeleton, who lives in a dark mansion in a candlelit room. She was in her faded wedding dress, surrounded by stopped clocks at 20 minutes to 9. He enters into the world of culture and education. Pip's life changes totally when he came in contact with Satis house. It was a strange place, elegant but gripped by decay. He longs to be a wealthy gentleman after coming to Satis house. Desire for self improvement is the main theme of the novel. His advancement in his life was the great expectation of his future. He falls in love with Estella. Estella's attitude towards Pip was contemptuous, but her contempt only sharpens his desire to become a gentleman and be worthy of her. When he realized that he needed to study, he took help from her sensitive friend Biddy. She helped him with his studies. By getting education, he wanted to improve his social status so that he can marry Estella someday. He made sincere efforts to improve himself, but unfortunately, he was not able to improve his social status and set back to his own house as an apprentice blacksmith. Meanwhile, Orlick, Mr. Joe's helper, attacked on Mrs. Joe when Pip and Joe were not at home. Biddy helped Mrs. Joe and took care of her. One day, Pip and his guardians got a surprise. A strange lawyer called Jaggers gave Pip an unbelievable news that an unknown benefactor had left him a very large fortune to acquire education and to become a gentleman. He thought that this money to educate him has come from Miss Havisham. She helped him like a fairy godmother to educate him and to get fortune so that he can marry Estella. But he was wrong. In the second part of the book, Pip transformed himself into a gentleman. He went to London for his studies. He made a friend, Herbert Pocket, who was the son of his tutor, and Mr. Pocket was the cousin of Miss Havisham. Herbert told the story of Miss Havisham's betrayal by her fiancé to Pip. Joe's visit to London embarrassed Pip. He was ashamed of Joe and his other past acquaintances. He never wanted to go to his native town to meet his sister, Joe, or his friend Betty, but he made many visits to Miss Havisham and Estella and proposed her. But Estella's feeling towards Pip was very cold. Finally, she married with Mr. Bentley Drummle. In London, Pip and his friend Herbert spent a lot of money and stuck into a debt. Pip got the news of his sister's death and he returned to the village for the funeral for some time. When Pip was 23 years old, he came to know the secret that the money which he received for his studies and to become a gentleman was not from Miss Havisham, as he imagined, but from the hideous convict Magwitch, whom Pip helped as a child in churchyard. Pip was very shocked by this news. In the third part, he decided that he would return all the money to Magwitch, his criminal benefactor. He also decided that he will help Magwitch to escape from England and protect him from death sentence. Magwitch came to visit Pip in England to see him. At Jagger's house, Pip met with his maid-servant, Molly. He came to know that she was the wife of Magwitch and realized that Estella is the daughter of Molly and Magwitch. He came back to Miss Havisham and comes to know that Estella was brought to her by Jaggers and she raised her without any emotions or feelings. Miss Havisham's dress catches fire. Pip tried to protect her, but ultimately she died due to her injuries. She felt sorry for her manipulation of Estella and Pip. Magwitch once again caught by the police. Pip visited Magwitch in prison and told him that his daughter Estella is alive. He was very happy, but he was on his deathbed. With Miss Havisham monies, Herbert departed for Cairo. Pip falls ill and once again in his need, his brother-in-law helped him. He served him and also cleared his debt. When he recovered, Joe returned back to his village. At the end, after this incident, Pip realized that love, affection, and loyalty are more important than social advancement. wealth, and class. After this realization, Pip returned back to his village to propose Biddy, but he discovered that she married with Joe. Pip asked for Joe's forgiveness and promised him to return his money. With the help of his friend Herbert, Pip found a job in Cairo. He worked hard and rises to the responsible position. Pip returned back to England after 11 years and visited Joe, Biddy, and their son Pip. He went to Sattie's house and he found Estella over there. She was a widow now and a changed woman. She asked for his forgiveness for her past behavior. They both went for a walk in the garden hand in hand. It's a must read book for all book lovers. For more book reviews, subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.